There's a harsh truth people spend their entire lives avoiding. Nobody cares. Not about your failures, not about your excuses, not even about your potential. It sounds cold, maybe even cruel, but it's one of the most liberating realizations you'll ever have. Because when you truly accept that no one is coming to save you, that applause is fleeting and sympathy is shallow, you're free. Free to take control of your life. Free to stop seeking validation. Free to rise. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." That's not pessimism, it's power. This video is a deep dive into 12 lessons for unshakable inner strength, drawn from Stoic wisdom and brutal reality. If you're tired of being stuck, distracted, or underestimated, this is your call to arms. Lesson 1. Nobody owes you anything. The world you were born into doesn't owe you any ease, fairness, or even clarity. It's not going to be given to you by anyone. No one has to feel your pain, notice how hard you're working, or support your dreams. And everything changes once you fully understand that truth, not just in your mind, but also in your heart. As soon as you expect other people to live up to your standards, you start making them sign contracts they didn't agree to. Because you were dedicated, you expect your friends to be too. Because you try to be kind, you think everyone else will too. It's what you expect because you worked hard. But life doesn't care about how hard you try. It does not reward good goals. It awards results, but not always in the same way. Epictetus knew this better than most because he was born into slavery and had to go through a lot of hard times. What he said, "Do not hope that things will go the way you want them to. Whatever way events happen, welcome them. Right here is the way to peace." Not defeatism. That's a deeper, more extreme kind of freedom. You stop feeling cheated by the world as soon as you stop thinking it should act a certain way. Imaginary wrongs stop hurting you, and you start seeing the world for what it is, harsh but manageable. You stop needing things to get easy and start getting stronger. You are not owed understanding. For example, when someone doesn't see your pain, gets your character wrong, or leaves you instead of staying by your side, it doesn't break you. You weren't expecting them to save you, so they did. You don't owe anyone reasonable treatment. When someone less skilled gets ahead faster, someone dishonest gets rewarded, or your hard work is ignored, it doesn't change your goal, because you weren't trying to get noticed. Transformation was what you were working for. It's not their duty to love, praise, honor, or pay attention to you. That way, you don't fall apart when you don't get them. You build. You get stronger, more disciplined, and more focused on your goals. You stop looking to other people for fairness and start looking to yourself for strength. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman ruler, put it this way: "Think about how lucky you are to be alive every morning, to be able to think, enjoy, and love. Not worthy of praise, not easy to understand, to live. That's enough." This way of thinking is the start of being your own boss. That's when you change from a victim to a producer. When you stop expecting the world to give you what you think you deserve, you are free to make things, change things, and act without being told to. Your life is not being watched by you. You are the builder. You'll get hurt. People will get you wrong. You will put a lot of effort into things that don't pay off. Still, you need to show up. You still need to make things. You must still choose to be strong without praise. That's what sets people who are led by feeling apart from people who are led by principle. So burn the papers that you can't see. Don't say should. You are only due the present moment. What you do with it is what makes you who you are. Not your past, not your hurt. Picks you make. Don't expect anyone to do anything for you. This is the first and maybe most important rule of inner power. You start becoming when you stop expecting. Lesson 2. Victimhood is a cage. You were abused. That's real. You've lost trust, been told you're not worth much, and maybe even had your spirit crushed. This is the hard truth that most people try to avoid, though. Pain itself is not the problem. What's wrong is being attached to pain. Someone may have been unfair to you, but going over the deception every day, nursing the wound, and making it a part of who you are, that's making your own prison. Like all jails, it makes you think you're safer inside. You're not, though. You can't move. People who are stuck don't grow. The Stoic philosopher Seneca, who knew both great wealth and terrible bad luck, said it very well. Our imaginations hurt us more than the real world. Not the event itself, but the story you keep telling yourself about it hurts more. It does this to me all the time. No one likes me. I'll never get better. These don't show the truth. They're just the bars you hold on to when you say you're stuck. Being a victim is appealing. It lets you off the hook. That staying mad is fine. It's too hard to heal that. That the world is too mean. However, your life gets smaller the longer you stay in that story. It takes away power from the present to blame the past. And power only exists in the present. Marcus Aurelius didn't have time for excuses because he was in charge of a kingdom that was losing at war and being betrayed. What he wrote, "Reject your feeling of being hurt and the hurt goes away." That doesn't mean acting like you never got hurt. It means not letting that hurt shape who you are now. That you understand the more you hold on to your pain, the more it owns you and the less you own your life. You're allowed to feel the way you do. But feelings aren't the basis for anything. They are signs. Pay attention to them, then let them go. Because thinking like a victim is like putting chains around your neck and throwing away the key, all while blaming everyone else for keeping you locked up. Healing isn't a passive thing. Time doesn't fix you. Action does. It means taking responsibility for your next move, even if you didn't fall. It's telling yourself in the mirror, they hurt me, but they can't keep hurting me. Being a victim all the time is not a badge of honor. But rising, not just once, but over and over again, is a huge honor. By putting together the pieces of what broke you, you've made something that can't be broken. By refusing to stay angry, because anger is just a cover for taking longer to heal. Do not try to get pity. Sadness goes away. Anyone who needs someone else to feel sorry for you will always be weak. Instead, go after strength, the calm, inside kind. When you say, "This pain will not be who I am, it will be my spark plug." You may be used to being a victim. Being comfortable isn't freedom, though. Leave, close the door tight, and change the way your life is going. Because as soon as you stop telling the story of what they did to you, you begin writing the story of what you're doing now. Lesson 3. Validation is a drug. You put up the picture, wait, you look, who liked it, who said that, who sent it. Every time someone says yes, you feel a little rush of dopamine. You feel alive, seen, and important, but then it goes away, and then you come back for more, another post, a view, or a work. That's not having faith. That's being addicted. Being validated is like a drug, and like all drugs, it starts out small with a praise or like, but it changes the way your brain works over time. All of a sudden, your choices aren't based on what's right. They're based on what will get you praise. You are no longer a person. You show up as an act. Marcus Aurelius, who was ruler of Rome and was surrounded by power, praise, and fame, wrote something very powerful. We all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about what they think than what we think. Just to protect an image, how many times have you kept your truth, your thoughts, or your guts from someone? to keep the good graces of people who don't even know your soul. How many times have you lied to them? If you need to be seen to feel good about yourself, you'll never be truly whole. You're always on edge, always looking for, "Do they still like me?" is something I always think. That's not having freedom. What you see there is slavery dressed up in smiles and pictures. It does feel good to be validated, but it changes a lot. People who cheer today might not cheer tomorrow. If their praise is what makes you who you are, then their criticism will break you. Epictetus warned against this false bond when he said, "If you want to get better, be happy with being seen as stupid and foolish." Being okay with being misread is real power. To walk into a room and feel whole without needing anyone else's approval. To say what you think and not be afraid of being judged. That's how strong people walk, in peace, with a purpose, not with applause. You shouldn't turn down all praise, though. It's that you should never count on it, because if you do that, you're living on borrowed time, an empty one. You start living your life based on what gets you noticed instead of what makes you feel good. Most people try to avoid this truth. Sometimes the things that help you grow will look like failures to other people. If you make a choice that brings you peace, it may confuse everyone else. That's fine, because the goal is alignment, not praise. Getting along with your ideals as part of your goal, not with what they think you should be, but with who you're becoming. Now is not the time to wait to be crowned by people who don't understand your way. Don't change your light so that it doesn't blind people who aren't safe. Also, don't chase noise when you were meant to find meaning. People will never fully understand what you're trying to build if it's something real, like a life, a purpose, or a legacy, and things should be just that way. The power inside is quiet, not shakable. On their own, it does not ask, it does not work, it does not change based on opinion. You start running your own life the day you stop needing to be approved of. Lesson 4. Feelings aren't facts. Some days, everything will feel heavy. When you're tired, your mind is cloudy, and a voice inside your head asks, "What's the point?" Those times feel real, like they will last forever. They're not, though. It's the weather. And they go away, just like clouds. We go wrong when we mix up how we feel with what is real. Because you feel like a failure, you believe that you are one. You give up because you think it's impossible. You pull away because you think they are judging you. But feelings are not proof. They are not unbiased. They're signals, and sometimes those signals are just false fears. The Stoics knew this a long time ago. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled a kingdom and went through unending hardships, wrote, "If something outside of you bothers you, it's not the thing itself that's hurting you. It's how you think about it, which you can change at any time." That is, it's not the situation that breaks you. What you think it means is what matters. Your body can keep going even though you feel like you can't. It's not true that no one cares, even though you feel that way. While I understand that you are scared, bravery is not the lack of fear itself, but the choice to keep going even though you are scared. You are not how you feel. You are the one watching them from behind. Keep an eye on them like clouds moving across the sky. Take them into account, but then do what you want to do anyway. That's where the power is. What Seneca said, people who give in to fake fears end up with real ones. Feelings become your slave when you give in to them. You become in charge of your thoughts when you question them, when you pause, breathe, and answer with intention. And here's the greater truth. Most of your biggest wins will happen when you don't want to do anything. When your whole body tells you, rest, quit, hide. You still choose to move, though. That's the difference between people who build and people who break. Having drive comes and goes, But discipline, the choice to act even though you're feeling weak, is what makes inner strength that can't be shaken. This is what turns feelings into momentum. Don't wait for the right emotions to act in the right way. Feelings don't last forever. Legacy will last forever. Remember this, the next time your feelings get in the way of your goals, you're not failing, you're just feeling. Of course, feelings are not orders. They're just noise. If you have to, listen, but don't follow them. Look, take deep breaths, turn around, and still move. Lesson 5. Focus is your superpower. Someone is trying to get your attention. Every alert, ping, and story is meant to take your attention away from yourself, from your plans, from your reason. Most people go through life like a leaf in the wind, going with the flow of whatever is most loud at the time. Drifting doesn't build countries, though. Focus does it. Even though Seneca wrote almost 2,000 years ago, he saw this danger. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Mind noise, not just doing too many things at once, stops you from making progress. Your energy is low when your mind is confused. You begin many things, but never finish any of them. When you move on to the next idea, you hope it will be simpler, faster, or more fun. It's never true. Having focus is a brave thing to do. It means you've made up your mind about one thing and are strong enough to ignore everything else. It means saying no to ease, sidetrackment, and quick pleasure, and yes to skill, depth, and legacy. 1 hour of focused, undistracted work can make more progress in your life than 30 days of sluggish juggling. That level of focus won't be possible for most people, though, not because they can't, but because they won't get rid of the noise. The TV stays on. They move from one job to the next. They have a lot of trouble in the morning. Herodotus said it best, a person who is not in charge of himself is not free. You need to master your attention before you can master yourself. What are you focusing on? Does it help you or hurt you? Does it make a difference or just keep you busy? Are you looking past your fate to see someone else live theirs? Focus isn't just following rules. It means loyalty. You need to become concerned with the way things are going instead of the goals. While the world screams for your attention, you have to be ready to sit in silence and work. That's where great things happen. Not in flashes, but in long periods of silence where important work gets done. Marcus Aurelius, who was emperor and still found time to write, think, and improve his thought, said, "Do your work as if it were the last thing you ever had to do." It's not normal for someone to be that intense. It needs to be trained. It needs to be kept safe. And it needs to be driven by a goal bigger than comfort. So shut out the noise. Turn off things that aren't needed. Figure out what works, and then give it everything you have. Because you can't live a clear life if your mind is busy. There are already enough hours in the day. You need less to keep you from focusing in an hour. Strength, insight, peace, and power are all waiting for you. On the other side of hard work, focus should be your strength. Focus isn't just hard to find in a world full of noise. It's impossible to beat. Lesson 6. Choose discomfort over regret. The cold water will never hurt you. The early wake-up, the extra rep, being honest with each other, the heartbreak you had to go through, the fear you felt. You will deeply and painfully regret the chances you didn't take, the dreams you put off, and the time you lost waiting to feel ready. Pain is the price we pay for growth. A lot of people don't want to pay it. If they want to be strong, smart, and win, they don't want to have to fight. That was not true for the Stoics. They didn't look for ease. They chose to be in trouble on purpose. Epictetus, who was born into slavery and was crippled for life, taught this very clearly. Difficulties are what make a person who they are. He just meant that the stress of life doesn't break you. It shows you what's left when you take away the comforts, the ease, and the crutches. Are you still following the rules? Still on track? Still strong? That's why Stoics chose to go through hardships like fasting, being cold, and being uncomfortable. Not to suffer, but to train. To get ready. To remember that they were stronger than their urges. Because even the smallest task can be too much when you're always at ease. But if you regularly accept pain, it turns into fuel instead of fear. Seneca went even further. Set aside a certain number of days to be happy with the cheapest and scantiest food and the roughest clothes. During those days, ask yourself, is this the situation I feared? That practice makes you unbeatable. Why? Because a man who doesn't fear pain can't be ruled. He's not after wealth. He doesn't need permission. He doesn't give up when things get tough. He's scary not because he's mean, but because he's free. Now ask yourself, what are you skipping today just to be safe? That trip to the gym? That project? That tough conversation? That chance that could make your life better? It's already clear to you. You also know this deep down. Being comfortable makes you less great. It makes you less ambitious. It feels good at the time, but it costs a lot in the form of sorrow later on. At first, regret is quiet, a whisper, an untapped chance lost, a thought that you push away. But it gets bigger. You have to carry that weight. Not for today, not for a while, but for all time. So change the order. Don't ask, what makes you feel good right now? Ask yourself, what will make me proud tomorrow? It will always take work to get the truth. You will have to sweat, to be honest, for strength. But it will also give you strength, power, and clarity. In life, there are two kinds of pain. One is the pain of discipline, which lasts only a short time. Also the pain of sorrow that never goes away. Pick the discomfort. Pick growth. When you get older, thank yourself for not being afraid to try new things. It hurts the most to think about what you might have become if you had only leaned into the storm. Lesson 7. Not everyone deserves access. You're not a park for everyone. This is holy ground, and not everyone has earned the right to walk through it. Protect your time, your mind, and your peace. But too many people let anyone in like it's free, and then they wonder why those people feel tired, confused, and out of sorts. Marcus Aurelius knew how powerful selective association could be because he was surrounded by lawmakers, soldiers, and constant pressure. He warned, the color of one's thoughts changes the soul. But what makes those feelings happen? The people you let into your space. Every talk is like a deposit. There is a mark left by every encounter. If you hang out with people who complain, talk about other people, quit, or get distracted, don't be surprised if you start doing those things too. As the Stoics knew, being close gives you power. The people you hang out with either make you stronger or dull you down over time. You don't have to give everyone access just because they ask for it. You don't have to answer every text, comment on every point of view, or explain every choice. That's not Stoicism. It's trying to stay alive. A cat doesn't turn around to talk to every dog that barks. It stays on track. It doesn't move. It keeps being strong. Seneca said, hang out with people who will make you better. It doesn't mean you cut off everyone and live alone. It means you decide to do something. You pick out, you watch over your gates, how clear your mind is, how strong your emotions are, and how well you can stay calm in a chaotic situation, all rely on the energy around you. Some people come into your life like drugs. They keep you calm, give you direction, and cheer you on. Others come in like poison. They add doubt, conflict, and noise. You need to learn how to tell the difference and act properly, because the truth is that not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people like the smaller, less exciting version of you that didn't like change and liked staying in your comfort zone. They'll fight you as you get bigger. They will make fun of you. They are going to pull. It's all right. Who is connected with you and who is just there for the version of you that served them? Growth shows you. Boundaries are like screens, not walls. They keep the right people in and don't kick everyone out. Close up your circle. Pick depth over width. Pick silence over noise. Quality is better than number. Don't let people who hold you back shape your life. Let people who push you forward do that. Peace costs a lot. Keep it safe like a gem. People who are only going to cause trouble at the meal don't deserve to be at your table. And if you're around people who drain you, keep you from growing, or don't care about it, leave. The cat doesn't roar to get your attention. He keeps his land safe. You should too. Lesson 8. Discipline is self-respect. Being disciplined is not a jail, a way to get somewhere, a steady, quiet statement that says, I'm important enough to keep my word. It takes a lot of self-respect to choose discipline in a world where most people are looking for ease, distractions, and dopamine. Discipline and restriction are often mixed up, making discipline seem cold, cruel, or lack of joy. But punishment isn't really control. It's not about not having enough. It's love at work. You say, I believe in who I'm becoming more than I believe in my excuses. When you get up early to work on your craft, go to the gym instead of hitting snooze, and choose solitude over toxic company. The Stoics knew this better than anyone else. They knew the battle wasn't with other people, it was with themselves. What Epictetus taught, a person who is not in charge of himself is not free. That is the whole game. Self-control. Since you are in charge of your body, time, and thoughts, something or someone else will. The things you want will control you. You will be shaped by how lazy you are. Your outcome will depend on how you feel. But if you train yourself to do what you need to do even when you don't want to, you will never give up. That's freedom, not just power. You can trust yourself more if you are disciplined. It's hard to love yourself if you don't believe the things you say to yourself. How can you be sure of yourself when you keep breaking your own rules? Part of you knows you've given up on your potential every time you choose short-term ease over long-term value. But you build bricks every time you keep your word. Even when no one is looking, you make people better. You make people proud. You get to a point where you don't need permission to do anything. I don't need praise. All I have to do is show up. Not for other people, but for himself. Marcus Aurelius, who was ruler of Rome, wrote in his journal, "When you wake up early and can't get out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." That is what practice is all about. There is a person who shows up for their duty, purpose, and future, not a mood slave, a crowd puppet, or a machine chasing pleasure. They are doing the work of a person. And here's the truth. Being disciplined doesn't make things harder. It has made things easier. You decide to stop dealing with your feelings. You stop looking for inspiration all the time. You don't have to quit and start over. You just keep going. Hold on. Strong and sharp. Remember this the next time you're tired, uninspired, or want to give up. Discipline is a message. I love myself too much to go backwards, it says. You are fine as you are. All you have to do is be constant. Every day you follow through is a vote for the person you're becoming. As soon as there are enough votes, you win. Lesson 9. The world rewards results, not potential. Everyone can do great things. The dream, the goal, the someday I'll speech is the easy part. But promise that isn't used is like a sword that hasn't been drawn. It looks nice, but it doesn't help when it counts. It didn't matter to the Stoics how good your ideas sounded. They were interested in what you did with them. Epictetus made it clear, do not talk about your beliefs. Take it on. There is only one message. Don't talk. Do something. The man who almost built something is not respected. Who would have been great? Who always says what he's going to do but never does it. What's in your head doesn't change the world. It is moved by what you make. Results are rare because they require giving up something. Potential is safe and makes you feel good. It keeps you in your mind and keeps you safe. But results make action necessary. Accountability is needed for results. To get results, you need to be disciplined, consistent, and often by yourself. Having a plan doesn't make you admired. When you do something when it's boring, people respect you. When it's hard, keep going. By showing up every day without asking for praise, without giving a speech, and without telling everyone about your battle. This is what Seneca said. We waste a lot of our time, not that we don't have much time to live. The good man is always waiting for the right time. The man who gets things done makes time. He works with what he has. He uses excuses as fuel. The market doesn't give money to the person who has the best ideas. It rewards the person who shows up. The person who gets the deal done, ships the goods, ends the book, builds the body, and shows proof. It's tough, but it's the truth. You won't get paid to try. You get paid when you finish. Don't worry about looking smart if you want to build power. Don't worry about being liked. Don't try to convince people of your skills. Let your work do the talking. Make your consistency laugh out loud. Do you want to write well? Write every day until your words mean something. Want to be a great public speaker? Talk to a room that is empty until your sound fills the building. Do you want to get stronger? Do not share your gym plans. Get up and move. Stop talking about how great you are. Begin to show it. In peace, without stopping, without having to be proven. Because the truth is that you are born with potential. Results are what you have when you die. So ask yourself, would everyone know you were here if you got lost tomorrow? Not in the way you wanted to, but by what you built, changed, ended, or had an effect on. That's how powerful someone really is. People don't owe you praise just because you tried, but it can't just ignore the outcome. Lesson 10. Control what you can, release what you can't. Feeling worried, stressed, or angry is normal and not a sign of weakness. You are a person, but you can choose to stay there and let those feelings run your life. And the Stoics wouldn't make that choice. What got them out of chaos was called the dichotomy of control. It is the clear line between what you can control and what you can't. Epictetus made it very clear. We can do some things and not others. If you fully live that line, it can change your whole life. You can't change if someone likes you or not. You can't change the formula, the rate of inflation, or the way someone treats you. The past is out of your hands, and the future is unknown. But you can change these things. Your answer, your planning, your attitude, your focus, your work, your decisions. That's enough. There is a lot of energy we waste when we try to change the world to fit our needs. It's easy to get stuck in the question, why did this happen? How could they hurt me like this? We scream during storms instead of making the boats bigger. They knew, though, that fighting the wind wouldn't help them win. You win when you change your sails. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled a kingdom through war, plague, and betrayal, told himself every day, you control your mind, not what happens in the outside world. Know this and you will be strong. It's not just a quote. That's a plan. Because you will get hit by life. People will let you down. Plans won't work out. But if you train it, your inner fortress stays strong. And this is the magic. Your life changes when you stop focusing on the things you can't change and put all of your energy into the things you can. Suddenly, you're not mad about the weather. You're thinking about how strong you are. You're not worried about what other people think. You're focused on getting better. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're working hard on your goal. You're not passive after this change. It makes you impossible to break. Since other people are complaining, waiting, or responding, you are moving. Seneca said it so well. A wise person is happy with what they have and doesn't wish for what they don't have. It's not that he doesn't want to succeed. It's just that he doesn't waste any energy on things he can't control. This is how you stay calm when other people are scared. This is how you move forward when everyone else stops. In a crazy world, this is how you keep your peace. Take charge of what you can. Let go of what you can't keep. Don't curse the wind if it storms. Change your sails. Go ahead and keep going. Lesson 11. Choose solitude over shallow company. It's one of the greatest and most powerful gifts you can give yourself to be alone. It's not about being alone or lonely. It's about making room for your mind to breathe, think, and grow without being interrupted. These ideas were very clear to the Stoics. Even though Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful person in the world, he spent every day alone. He didn't write the meditations to get praise from other people. Instead, he used them as private talks with himself, times to work through his doubts, fears, and goals. He wasn't trying to escape from life by pulling away on purpose. Instead, it was a way to improve himself and keep his mind on what was important. You lose sight of your values and purpose when you're constantly with shallow people, conversations, and distractions that don't push you. This makes you sound like the noise around you instead of being a force in your own right. If you want to grow past your weaknesses, you have to face your real self and your weaknesses. Solitude forces you to do this. Real confidence grows in quiet times, the kind that let you stand your ground without needing anyone else's support. The kind that lets you trust your own judgment. This kind of inner strength is hard to find because it takes being open and brave. It means saying no to always being around other people, to things that drain your energy, and to the urge to get approval quickly. It means being very careful with your time and thoughts, picking quality relationships over number, and putting more value on deep connection over surface-level connection. It's not enough to just watch another movie. You have to commit to a journey of self-mastery, clarity, and real power. Because being alone isn't a sign of weakness. It's where your best self grows. Lesson 12. Live like no one's watching, because they aren't. A big part of our worry, hesitancy, and self-doubt comes from a simple but crippling fear: being judged. Because we think everyone is looking at us and ready to judge, laugh, or reject us, we hold back, limit ourselves, and play it safe. The freeing truth is that most people aren't watching. They are too worried, insecure, and always trying to keep up with everything going on around them. One of the best Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, told himself, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about what they think than what we think." Give a lot of power to people who don't even pay attention. This indifference of others is a gift, not a hard truth to hate. It's approval to stop practicing, stopping censoring, and stopping making your life smaller to fit the made-up expectations of people who are busy with their own lives. Realizing that no one is really watching or keeping score gives you the freedom to be yourself, fully and without limits. You don't have to worry about being judged all the time when you try, fail, stumble, and get back up again. How many chances have you missed because you were worried about what other people would think? Do you remember how many times you didn't say anything? How often have you put off going after what you want because you thought someone would judge you? That's a waste of energy. That time was wasted. The Stoics knew that real power doesn't come from approval from other people, but from being sure of yourself. Epictetus said that we can only control how we react to what other people say or think. When you stop living for praise or approval, you start living for growth, freedom, and a reason to live. You start to go your own way, based on your ideals and goals, instead of other people's opinions, which don't last long. Take the shot, tell the truth, start working on that project. Follow your interest. Live out loud, bravely, and honestly. The truth is that no one really cares, which is why you should stop. Being judged doesn't make you feel bad. Not having the guts to act is what makes you feel bad. Don't change your life to fit an unnoticed crowd. Be honest with yourself. Remember that you can change how you live, but not how other people see you. So live to the fullest. Dare to live. Most of the time, no one is looking. So live like no one is. What if they are? Let them see you rise, unstoppable and not sorry. The Stoics didn't believe in theories. They had to do with action. Not about doing, but about living. Their knowledge lives on because it speaks to the part of us that wants to be free, clear, and strong. Your last lesson is that no one cares, which is actually a good thing. Now you don't have to say anything. You can now go ahead and wait. Now you have the freedom to focus on your own life without any limits. The world doesn't need to hear you. Everyone will be able to see you if you master yourself. Take a deep breath. Be strong, move forward, and make your life so strong and focused that quiet becomes your song, and what you do becomes your memory.